Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. This is a super exciting Facebook Live today because all of you know this guy, Mike Michalowicz. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Dr. Barbara, for having me. I really appreciate your support of what I'm doing.
Absolutely. And it's a special day. It's Mike's birthday. So as more people join us, we are going to be singing you happy birthday, which
Oh,
may turn that good vibes only upside
yeah.
down.
My colleagues put this on my desk for today.
Aw,
It had a nice cake and everything. Yeah, it's been a great day. It's been fun to celebrate.
I love that. And you're 35. We identified you've had your 35th birthday at some point along the journey.
That's right. That's right. And I've had it again and again and again. So my
More
goal
than
is just to retain some form of health of a 35-year-old, not necessarily the look, but I'll do everything I can to maintain that health, I hope.
Yes. My husband and I were talking to a friend of ours the other day. It's actually, if any of you watch reality TV, the Homestead Rescue with Marty
Oh,
Rainey,
yeah.
he does that show with his son Matt and his son and daughter Misty. And then his son Matt, we know very well. They've done a lot of work at our home, and he's an ultra marathoner, an
Oh,
ultra runner.
wow.
And he was telling us that really and truly, we're at our prime in like our early to mid 50s, like physiologically, and all of our cells are uniting on our behalf if we've taken care of ourselves. And if at that point we remember, like, I'm at my prime. And you know what, that has been like such a game changer for Ben and I, to be like, no, like, this is our prime, we're not
Yeah.
going downhill, this is our prime, which I think aligns perfectly with the Get Different message. So, Mike, tell us about the journey of getting to this book of Get Different.
Yeah. So it's probably over the last 7 or 8 years, I've been actively surveying audiences. It was a lot of live stuff in the past. We've done stuff together. Now it's gone more virtual. But I asked people, "What's your primary source of lead flow?" And I was just curious, and then a realization came out of it. The primary source of lead flow, particularly for chiropractors, is word of mouth. My clients refer me to other clients. My patients refer me to other patients. And while that's a wonderful acknowledgement of the quality of your service you provide, clearly people want to refer you to others because they trust you. It also means we're at the whim of our customers marketing us. And that puts us in a peak and valley state. Sometimes there's a flow of business and all of a sudden we dry up again. So what I did with this book is I asked myself, how do we control marketing? How do we control that throttle? So when we want more opportunity, we can snap our fingers and make it happen. And it boils down to this process that now I call Get Different, but it's a 3-step process in marketing that increases the likelihood significantly of you having effective marketing, effective results when you want them.
Who doesn't love that? Like, effective marketing, go figure. It seems almost like the elusive butterfly,
It seems that way.
right?
Yeah. Well, here's why it does seem like an elusive butterfly. So I asked myself, why don't I and others, why don't we market effectively? Why don't we lean into it? And I found there's actually these polar factions that are fighting in our mind. The key to effective marketing is being different. When we stand out, we will be noticed. And then we present ourselves as an attractive opportunity, but you have to first stand out. Well, if you rewind back to the cave days of humanity, you and I would say, hey, the tribe would say, we're going to go collect food or hunt or something like that. And if the tribe says we're going for a woolly mammoth, and I'm like, no, guys, let's go for a saber-toothed tiger, that's what we're doing, I will be rejected by the tribe. We need a communal effort in order to survive. And the second someone rejects that by being different, standing out, they are excluded. So now I'm out in the tundra by myself, which equated to certain death. That part of our reptilian mind is still there. And we have this emotion that if we don't do what the group does, that results in exclusion, and exclusion results in certain death. So that's how visceral it is. But fast forward to modern society, and you and I both know logically that if we do something different, if we stand out and get noticed, that's how you garner attention and business. So we want to stand out without standing out. we want to be noticed without being noticeable. And these fighting factions are one of the reasons we fail to market effectively or shirk the responsibility. We have to overcome that. And there is a way to overcome it, but we have to.
It brings me to now is a great time to sing you happy birthday. So for those of you who can join me, please do so. I am not a singer. My daughter-in-law has a beautiful voice, but this is as good as it's going to get today, Mike. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mike. Happy birthday to you. So
Thank you.
Yeah, if you can all join in the comment section and say happy birthday, that will make Mike and I both feel a lot better. So let's go back to the importance of getting different, of get different and having a unique message. It's really quite simple. Have your own voice.
Have your own voice.
Right.
And let me tell you about the importance of that.
Yeah.
So we can ask everyone that's listening in right now live, or if you listen to the recording, a real simple question. And if you answer integrally, it'll point us in the direction of marketing. Is your offering better than the competition or better than the alternatives in some capacity or many capacities? And people don't even need to put that in the chat. I know the answer is yes. Hell yes. And I know why. You're a small business owner. It means you're ingratiated in your business. You probably do the services yourself to some capacity. You're speaking with clients. The person who cares most is present. And these big jugga companies and these alternatives like vacuum back suction systems, they're not involved in the business like that. The second thing is you're here for learning, which means you're expanding your business. Most entrepreneurs, unfortunately, don't look to expand. They look to repeat. The fact you're expanding, the fact you're ingrained in the business means you're better. And here's the thing. If you are better than the competition, you have a responsibility to market because the customer is going to buy a solution. They have a problem, so they're going to seek it out. It is a pain, a literal pain, and for many people, they're going to seek a solution. If they find the alternatives because we didn't market, it's their problem, but it's our fault. We must market. Marketing is the ultimate act of kindness. If you are better, you have a responsibility to put it in front of your clients. And listen, I'm not saying like we need to strong arm customers or manipulate them. What I'm simply saying is the customer needs to be aware so that they can make a decision that they determine is in their best interest. But if they never discover you, shame on you. Shame on you. So step up into kindness. And by the way, that's how we overcome that fear factor of like, I don't want to stand out. I don't want to bother people. I'm afraid of being excluded from the tribe. I'm afraid of rejection. How you overcome it is realize that people are starving to discover you. You must market accordingly.
Yeah, I'm always amazed at the business owner who like wears with pride. I don't do any marketing. It's all referral. I'm like, why wouldn't you do marketing?
Yeah.
If you're that good that your whole business is from referral, like you have a duty, a responsibility, an obligation to have a bigger mouthpiece, to have a bigger megaphone, right?
Right. When we brag, my clients love me so much, I don't need to market. That's actually the reverse. That's telling you, you need to market way more. If you're that remarkable and amazing, you need to be discovered. And if you don't, shame on you. You're harming others that will never find you.
Especially in today's chaos of now we don't even know what health is. Well, I mean, of course we do, but mainstream media is doing a great job trying to confuse people. Yeah. So listen, now more than ever is the time to shout exactly what it is that you offer in your business. And this really goes to relationship capital plus mental capital equals wealth, right? Like that's how we do it. And your marketing is in that relationship capital. So individuals are going to buy a solution. They want to be healthier. They want they want armor for this thing called COVID. They want to be able to protect themselves and their family. And like Mike said, they're going to find a solution. What is the best solution? We as chiropractors say all the time, we are the best solution. Well, does your community know definitively?
Yeah.
If they don't, they will find a solution. It's going to lead them down a path of destruction on your watch.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And that's the responsibility to market. It ties into a strategy of how to do it. And so in Get Different, this is what the book looks like, by the way. In Get Different, I outline the 3 stages of marketing, which I call the DAD framework. So it's a real simple acronym to remember. And in fact, any marketing you look at, you can simply say, does this pass the dad test? And I've already heard all the dad jokes. I'll tell you one because I've heard them all now. So here's a dad joke. When does a good joke become a dad joke, Barbara?
When we read Get Different?
No, a good joke becomes a dad joke when it becomes apparent. Ta-cha! That's horrible, but that's a dad. That's the ultimate dad joke, I think.
Yeah.
So what the framework is of a dad joke is first of the different marketing is first you must have different. Different means we get noticed. If you're doing the same marketing as everyone else, you get buried. I'm a chiropractor. I'm going to go to other doctors, like, maybe a surgeon or something, and see if they can refer business to me. Well, she may be referring business to you, but she also has about 50 other chiropractors saying, could you refer business to me? That is the saturation point. The question is, can we do that no one else is doing? I worked with a chiropractor back here for a couple of years and really ramping up his business. And he realized he had a gift in working with youth athletes. And the buyer was the mom. That was the decision maker. The patient was a youth athlete. So what he did was his marketing was going to the coaches of teams, especially when that kickoff meeting was happening, and he'd meet with them and say, listen, here's how you take action to prevent injury. How you work with your the athletic practice and stuff more harmoniously to prevent damage. And if you need help, I'm here, ready and available. And the business took off. In fact, there was one patient. Ultimately, he built such a reputation that traveled 3 states to get there because that guy, Drew, his name was Dr. Drew, was a specialist in this need. When you market to a community differently and uniquely, they will start seeking you out and travel great distances. So first of all, be different. And what it simply means is whatever everyone else is doing, try something that's different than that, a different community, or maybe a different approach. I did an email blast. I noticed my contemporaries, I compete with authors. Other authors send out their emails all in black and white. Makes sense. Black text, white background. I'm like, what if I did the opposite of that, which is white on white? It's invisible. I was like, oh my gosh. I sent out an invisible email. I did in black text, a short section saying, you are receiving the first ever invisible ink email. Click and drag below to reveal the message. The open rates skyrocketed on this. The click-through rates skyrocketed for me because it was different. Have you ever received an invisible email before? No. Different gets attention. Must also be attractive. That's what the A stands for. Attractive means there must be a reason.
Can we go back for just a second?
Oh, sure.
On different. What are some directions to look in for different? In terms of, is it like changing the offer? Is it somebody else used bold print, I'm going to use a different font? Like, can you quantify different? Because I also see that could be just a merry-go-round of changing. Right. And I know you well enough to know that's not what you mean. It's change to find traction.
Oh, for sure. I call these marketing experiments. Many people go in with marketing plans. I think marketing plans are dangerous because a plan means commitment. First, we must experiment because in experiments, we expect failure and expect success to learn from and then turn successful experiments into plans. The 2 things to look at are what's called mediums and methods. Medium is the way people are communicating. So people are doing email blasts. That's a common medium. People are asking for referrals from other doctors. That's a medium. The method means the approach to it. So if all my competition is doing email blasts, I can change up one and do different mediums or different methods. I chose to do the same medium. They do email, I'll do email, but the method had to be a change. So I tried it out. But I can see that, everyone is doing postcard mailers as chiropractors. Maybe I'll be the first to do a different medium, like a billboard or something. And in the book, I outline there's about 25 common mediums that we can use. One technique to find you're different, though, is to simply look outside your industry. What are people doing outside your industry? Because they don't know your industry. It is common for an industry marketing to become homogenous because we learn from each other. So very quickly, we do the 4 or 5 best things, which actually start to fail us because they become white noise because everyone else is doing it. So look outside your industry, Grab ideas that you see out there and bring them in. And I'll give one last example of this. I used to have a computer services company. There was one company that took ideas from movies and so forth. They started wearing costumes. And if you watch like these Marvel movies and superhero movies, they took that idea and they applied it to their computer company, and they grew it to $1 billion. It's called Geek Squad. Geek Squad said, we're going to do computer service like everyone else, but we're going to market differently by wearing flood pants, glasses with tape, narrow black tie, and drive those Keystone Cop Volkswagen Beetles. And they got acquired by Best Buy, Geek Squad did, and together now that company is $1 billion valuation. Take from other industries.
And if you are in a place in your business where you don't feel like you can experiment, like you're counting pennies, get your business stabilized first, right? Like experimentation also requires, like, you have to be able to travel some distance with the experiment, right?
Right.
Like, and you have to make sure that you measure what's working. So if you're changing it up every week, you won't know which thing brings about the difference. And so Mike is saying, get different and do something completely different, but make sure you measure so you know what does work.
I have a whole chapter in the book talking about measurements and what's called keying.
Yeah.
Keying is a strategy of linking a measurable result to that marketing. For example, a real simple example is maybe I send out a postcard and it says, buy the t-shirts I'm selling. So buy a t-shirt and get a second one 50% off. And then I may send out another mailer that says, buy this t-shirt and get a second one at half price. And I want to see which works better. Well, the first advertisement will say, go to the website mike.com/1. And then the other ad says, go to mike.com/2. Now, by measuring the website traffic, I can see which marketing piece is more successful. Sadly, many people just kind of guess and say, oh, yeah, I think this works good. Everybody else is doing Facebook ads. I think I got a lead from it. That's extremely dangerous. Make sure you know what results are coming from your marketing, because most marketing experiments won't be wildly successful. They'll be duds. They'll be, they'll get you on base, but they won't move you forward. We want to learn from those and ultimately build something that's home run hits.
Yeah, absolutely. And please, all of you recognize, like, keep getting up to bat. The only way you're going to get on base is to keep getting up to bat, and then move those things forward. Relationship capital. Once you've made the connection, keep servicing it. It's like a seed, right? Like, my dad's a farmer, and not one time did I see him plant in the spring and fail to harvest it in the fall, thinking that that's the only way he was going to earn income. He had to harvest it. And so there was a whole period throughout the summer that he had to tend to those seeds, and marketing and relationships are the same way. It's not, growing your business isn't just planting seeds. It's waiting for them to harvest as well.
Yeah, okay. Right. You don't do a one and done. But I will tell you, when it comes to growing those seeds and caring for them, there's two other elements. So we talked about D, which is different. You also need to have, on that DAD acronym, the A, which is attractive. Listen, I could have dressed for this and said, hey, I'm going to dress like Bozo the Clown. Like, why don't I just do that? That's different. And I got the big floppy shoes and that squirting, daisy lapel and the waka waka horn. I could do that. It'll get attention, but very quickly it will, perhaps for a large portion of your community, would be, what is this guy making a joke of the work we do? That actually becomes repelling. So the second component is be attractive. Speak to the interests, the curiosity, the desires of the prospect in your marketing message. If it doesn't, you're going to repel them. So be different, but I'm not saying be outrageous. Be different to get noticed, attractive to keep people engaged.
And know your people.
Oh, know your people. Yeah. There's a little sign I sent you.
Thank you.
I love that you have that. That's all. Yeah, I was so excited about your move to Alaska. And when I was just shopping around, I saw that. I was like, oh my God, if this isn't in Barbara's hands, no one else is getting this. And that's why I sent it to you.
Yeah. And I love that. And that's part of marketing.
Yeah. And you know what? Actually, that is a form of marketing. Here's what's interesting about a gift that I found. When you give a gift to someone, first of all, a gift should be an acknowledgement for something they did for you. Like just sending a random gift is actually called a bribe. And that doesn't go so well. Like, here's a gift. Hey, can I be on your show? Like, that's really not how this works. A gift is ideally suited for recognition for something someone's done for you. And you've done so much for me. When I saw this, you were top of my mind. I'm like, I gotta get this to Barbara. But here's the other interesting thing. Any of us right now, we can look around our desks or wherever you're sitting. I bet you every single item on your desk, you know the source of it. There's a mental inventory. So I got a calculator here. Amazon purchase. Like I know I bought this myself. I got a Rutgers mug. I remember I went to see my son down at Rutgers. I got this. I got CoverGirl makeup on my desk because when you are doing a lot of camera work and you start sweating, you need. I'm a number 4, just so everyone knows, in case you're curious. But I know where I got these things. We keep a mental inventory. Is how we work. So when you gift something to a customer or client or just a friend, they will always remember use a source. One tip: don't put your effing logo on it. Barbara, could you imagine on the front of that, it says, welcome home to Alaska, and you see my picture? Like that goes right in the garbage. This is something important to you. But I also know from the marketing aspect that you'll remember the source. So that's how gifting works.
I love that. Great tip.
So there's one more tip, though, I want to give you. It's the last element of dad. So we have D for differentiate, A for attract, D for direct. And actually, I want to be so bold right now to demonstrate a direct, but also tell you how to use it. Here's my direct. And Barbara and I talked about this in advance. For everyone watching live, if you are watching live right now, I want to ask you a favor. This is the new book. It's called Get Different. I invite you to write, the link right below. Click on that link and go to Amazon. Get a copy right now. Here, there's 2 reasons I'm asking. One is, it is the greatest way I can be of service to you, dollar for dollar. I spent 7 years preparing for this book. It is the best way I know about marketing. It will move your business forward. Yes, it is a $30 investment. Actually, maybe now it's a little bit less than that. But for the $30 you spend, the return I commit will be extraordinary for you. So do it for you, but also I have a second reason I'm asking. If you do it selfishly, it serves me in a big way. This is my launch week right now. The book literally just came out the presses. And when Amazon sees people going and regularly buying, it starts to promote it to other entrepreneurs. So selfishly, if you're willing to get a copy of the book right now, it will also serve me in a massive way in expanding the word. So thank you for doing that. If you do, post in the chat too, because I want to personally thank you.
As well, for everyone who does, send me a screenshot that you purchased it today, and you will go into a raffle to get one that's autographed by Mike.
Boom.
So
boom.
I bought a bunch and sent them to him, and he's signing all of them.
Yep.
So if you're the winner, he will personally write you a note in your book, and it will be sent to you. So you got to buy today. So today is February the 24th. What's your birthday?
So I say September 24th. I think you said
February. September. It's snowing outside here in Alaska.
Oh, it's so funny. No, it's September 24th and snowing in Alaska.
September 24th. So you got to screenshot me that you use that link, only that link, and go and buy. And if you buy multiple copies, I will add you to the wheel, and you will have way more chances.
Oh, that's huge. Plus, now you have gifts, right? And you know the gifting strategy. That actually points to the direct step. And that's the last thing I wanted to share in Dad. So we talked about being different. We talked about being attractive. The last D stands for direct. When you have engaged a prospect, remember this. Marketing is the ultimate act of kindness. I believe in my books more than anything. I truly do. And that's why I feel empowered to ask you to get a copy, because I know it'll serve you. Likewise, with your services, I hope you feel empowered to put it out there. But you have to ask the customer for the transaction. So ask them to put a deposit down or sign up for a first appointment and evaluation. Ask. Here's the key. Make sure it's reasonable, though. Don't go for that, give us a deposit for the full year and you've never met this customer before. Maybe the first safe step is for them to give you an email address. In exchange, you give them 10 chiropractic techniques or 10 ways to maintain their health, just so there's some currency exchange. Then once you have their email, then you can market to them and say, hey, why don't you come in for your first appointment? So going to the final step isn't appropriate. There's a balance here. We want to move them efficiently, but we want to move them safely. That's the direct.
Yeah, don't be the creeper. Like date them, right?
Yeah.
No creepers allowed, but date them. I often I often, obviously 86% of my community is women. And I'm like, how many of you have had that guy that you went on a first date and he was ready to propose and you're like, ew,
Yeah, yeah,
weirdo.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think that we often do that with our clients. Like we get so excited, we go overboard and we forget like this is brand new to them. And
Right.
so taking those steps of dating them, which I love that last piece of dad because it's so vital. And before we run out of time, I want to let you all know that Mike and I are taking this a step further. Instead of just having you play tag with success, which doesn't work, success doesn't chase you back. It just doesn't work like that. Instead, in November, we're doing a free workshop for all of you, a virtual workshop, so that you can really take these principles of Get Different and apply them to your business. Obviously, it's going to be essential that you buy the book so that you know the material. We'll be putting the link in below. Everyone who does use that link right here to buy a book, you will also be getting a special invitation. And we're going to open it up that you can invite your strategic partners, the people that you know in your practice who are entrepreneurs, that the BNI groups and networking groups. Like if you want to really show off, which relationship capital is huge. Let me tell you, you can be like, look, I got a free ticket to Mike Michalowicz and Dr. Barbara Eaton's Get Different workshop. I'd love for you to come with me.
Yeah.
And we want to help make you a star. So Mike, in our last 2 minutes, what final words do you want to say to our audience and to those who will join us later in the
So,
replay?
yeah, the final words are this: a reminder that marketing is the ultimate act of kindness. If you are better than the alternatives, and I know you are, you have a responsibility to market. So remember this: the world is starving to discover you. Market accordingly.
And literally dying. So
And literally dying.
could we please put some fuel in our tanks and decide, I'm doing this bigger, I'm doing this better, I'm getting different. Ba-da, boom. Hey everyone, God bless you today. Have a wonderful day. Mike, happy birthday, and thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to buy your copy. Send me a screenshot, and increase your chances of winning by buying a lot of copies. So thanks so much. Congratulations on your new book, Mike.
Thank you. Bye,
See ya.
everyone.
Bye.